Welcome everyone, I'm Blanca Tebar and I'm going to introduce you to my study titled Early Detection of Eating Disorders Using Social Media. Eating disorders are a mental health illness characterized by disturbed eating behaviors that can seriously damage an individual's mental and physical health. 10,200 deaths each year are caused by eating disorders, making them the mental illness with the highest mortality rate. For a person with an eating disorder, there is about 20% chance of losing their lives as a result. However, this number can be reduced to 2 or 3% with proper therapy. So, why are so many people dying? Well, for someone with this disorder, it might be very hard to talk about it with people close to them. And it is necessary for them to get a proper diagnosis, that they ask for help and get treated by a doctor. The purpose of this project is to help them get diagnosed sooner so they can start therapy as early as possible. In this project, we leverage social media data to determine whether someone is suffering from an eating disorder or not by analyzing their posts. This can be done since people are usually more open about their feelings or concerns when talking to other people through social media websites. First, we explored a set of attributes that characterize eating disorder content online. By analyzing their posts, we concluded that people with eating disorders usually write posts that are longer than those posts written by someone that is not suffering from an eating disorder. Therefore, we use the word count as an input feature to our classifier. We also use the frequency of a set of keywords that has been shown to be commonly used by people suffering from eating disorders and rarely used elsewhere. Furthermore, we hypothesized that the topics of discussion would vary when comparing posts published by someone with eating disorders and someone not suffering from one. We use topic modeling to extract a set of features mapped to our corpus data, and then use the topic distribution per post as input features we could use to train a machine learning classifier. As we can see in the image, topics 6, 11, and 27 are the most relevant ones for the positive or ED class, being related to food, exercise, or treatment. The most relevant ones for the negative class relate to politics, leisure, work, or other informal themes. With a combination of the features mentioned above, we were able to outperform state-of-the-art models by 2% in terms of the F-score. To output a final outcome for each user, we averaged through all predictions corresponding to that user and returned the final decision according to a decision threshold we fine-tuned to maximize recall. Once we had extracted these features, we tried to maximize the amount of data we could gather for the posts we had in our dataset. To do that, we combined a logistic model that was processing the extracted features with a CNN that was able to process the word embeddings of our posts. We also added a big group model which helped us to obtain a different perspective of the word embeddings. We also hypothesized that the parts of a post in which users talk about themselves are more important when trying to characterize whether a user is suffering or not from an eating disorder. We therefore explored different techniques that helped us enhance personal information contained in each post. For example, we tried TFCR weighting scheme, which assigned a weight to each word corresponding to the number of occurrences of the word in the set of personal tokens and the number of occurrences in the set of non-personal ones. With this technique, only the words appearing frequently in the set of personal tokens and rarely in the set of non-personal ones would be scaled up. With this technique, and combining that with the multimodal model we described before, we were able to identify correctly 100% of the positive users. In order to determine whether this could be served as a complement to the formal diagnosis of an eating disorder, we received help from a group of volunteers. Due to the pandemic, we were only able to gather a group of Spanish volunteers. To be able to evaluate our mechanisms or our techniques with this volunteer set, we had to adapt our model to be able to analyze Spanish data. From this evaluation, we concluded that the set of features was enough to analyze or detect eating disorders online. But it could be also worth looking into in analyzing images or profile information such as retweets, follows, or the biography in a Twitter account. We also concluded that our approaches could work effectively in other languages rather than English. We additionally experimented with public Twitter accounts to evaluate our multimodal model with CFTR weighting, as we can see in the video. From this stage of the evaluation, we realized that the way in which eating disorder communities talk online differs substantially between platforms. As a model trained with Reddit data was unable to produce good results on Twitter, while a model trained with Twitter data was able to identify all users with eating disorders correctly. In conclusion, we can say that the techniques we propose as part of this study could serve as a complement to traditional diagnosis of eating disorders and help identify those users at risk as soon as possible. However, we still have some expansion points that could be worth looking in the future. We propose augmenting the dataset with data coming from different websites, as this could help us build a model that could identify users no matter on which social platform do they post on. Adding images and emojis could also be helpful since they are widely used and help express feelings. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it, and please like and subscribe.